Here's my good man, the police officer here in Vientiane, Laos. Good hat.
Good hat.
Good hat.
Yeah. Good.
What are you doing here? What are you doing? Motorbike.
มาเที่ยวลาวป่ะมาเที่ยวลาว
Motorbike.
มาเที่ยวลาว
Yes, they're very good here, the police. They're just sitting here checking motorbikes. Oh, they're checking motorbikes. Here, look, see? Yeah, look. See, there's two lads on a motorbike went past and they tried to pull them over and the lads just rode off. See, so that's what happens. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So that's you just saw police work there. That's what they're doing. They're doing routine checks on motorbikes here. Nobody wears a helmet in Laos on the motorbike. Very few anyway. But those two boys, they were whistled to pull over and they just kept riding and there's nobody to chase them here. They're just ridden off. Yeah, so that's what we're contending with. But yeah, look, my trip to Laos, it's been enjoyable. 3 weeks. You have a good look around in 3 weeks. Now, if you're thinking about coming here, and in my age group, yeah, it's going to be new. It's not easy, right? There's a bit involved. It's one of the poorest cities in Asia, if not the poorest city in Asia. So, booking your hotel. Sometimes they'll take the booking, but they don't want you to pay online. You've got to arrange a bus to the train station. You've got to somehow arrange your train tickets when you go in between the different cities. It's not easy to book online, and so you've got to get your hotel to do that, and they'll want to charge you an agent's fee to make the booking. Or you can go to the train station and try and book. I did that once. I did that further up north in, I forget the name now, but when I went up to the Golden Triangle, I was lucky up there because it's not as busy, the train station up there. But in Vientiane, Luang Prabang, they're very popular. Just about every train you take is full. So it's risky to go to the train to try and buy your ticket on the day. So you got your fee. You got to pay for to get to the train station. You got your train ticket. Then you've got to get to your train. You get off at the train station. You've got to find your transport to the next hotel you're staying at, and that can be a bit of a hassle because there's hundreds and hundreds of people. They're all trying to find a taxi or a tuk-tuk, and the taxis will try and charge you about 300,000 kip. Whereas a tuk-tuk, you can get into a tuk-tuk and it might cost you 50,000. So there's something there you've got to be aware of. Getting around, the roads are bad, so I wanted to go down south, but the train stops at Vientiane. There's no train further south. So that means you've got to make a decision on a minibus, and that's a 6-7 hour trip. And I just couldn't face it. I've done about 4 of them now, and I just said that's enough. It's different if they were beautiful freeways and nice smooth roads, but they're not. So the second thing, motorbikes, you can hire a motorbike if you really want to get around and have a look at things at your own pace. They're about 100,000 kip. I'll put some of these currency exchanges on the screen, on the video when I get a chance. Other things you've got to be aware of, the main cost of your trip to Laos will be your hotel. Everything else is cheap. Food, even train tickets around, bussing around is cheap. Now I want to give you my top 6 highlights of my trip to Laos. Number 1 is Vang Vieng, the Blue Lagoon, whitewater rafting and the zip lining through the mountains. It nearly killed me, but it was great fun. Number 2 was Nong Kiao. I took the long boat down the Nam Oi River to the remote villages. That was really, really interesting. Number 3, Luang Prabang. The city itself was wonderful. The Kuang Si waterfalls was a real highlight. Number 4 was visiting the Golden Triangle and staying at the Kapok Star Hotel in the Chinese Special Economic Zone. That was a real eye-opener. Number 5 was my motorbike trip outside of Luang Prabang. I rode up the mountain country, seeing the villages and the remote villages up there, which was a lot of fun. And number 6 was staying at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Vientiane and visiting the temples and the Victory Monument. So you've got to have a bit of patience with that here. They're not a first-rate tourist destination yet. It's a third-tier country, and they've got a lot of work to do if they want to, at some stage, compete with Thailand and Vietnam and Bali, for instance, is for tourism. Most of the tourists are coming from China because of the railway line. Thank God for the China-Laos relationship with the railway asset, because without that, if we didn't have a railway line like they have, and it's a beautiful train they've got, I was on it yesterday, it's 162 kilometres an hour, beautiful and smooth. But if that wasn't there, and you had to rely on these roads and minibuses, people my age group, they'd say, no, sorry, it's too dangerous, too hard. But they need to extend the railway line down to southern Laos for it to be really comprehensive. But yeah, I hear some people saying, oh, China's spending a lot of money building up assets in Laos. Well, yeah, they're the only country in the world that would be prepared to do it. So, and the flow-on effect from the railway line is going to be massive for Chinese tourists, because even working class Chinese, I noticed, that are coming to Laos. It's their one and only opportunity, because it's so close to their border, to come for a holiday in another country. Of course, you've got the wealthy Chinese that will go up to the Golden Triangle, to the Chinese Special Economic Zone where there's gambling. They go up there. But being so close to Thailand, just across the water there, at some stage Laos is going to have to improve its infrastructure, improve its roads, so that it can attract more tourists. And I must admit, Laos does very little marketing. Like, coming from Australia, you don't hear anything about Laos. Let's be honest about it. I don't know what the Americans and the Europeans think, but there's very little marketing. So to come here, you're doing it off your own bat, really sight unseen, without much knowledge of what to expect, which doesn't worry me, but it would worry a lot of other people. So yeah, that's a little bit about my experience in Laos. I've enjoyed it. The people are nice. The hotels, 75% of the hotels have been good quality, clean, so there's not a problem with that. They do like the US dollar. They don't like the Australian dollar so much. So you've got to, if you're coming with cash, Australian dollars, or and you're looking at currency exchanges, in Vientiane it's not great. Exchange rate's not great, and there's not many places where you can do it. They all want you to go to the ATM, where there's the fees associated. But yeah, she's warm. Every day's around 30, 31, 32. High humidity in Laos. Up north, a lot of rainfall. I'm here in the wet season, so they warned me about that. The wet season here is a lot of rain. The Mekong is very high at the moment, the level. They're all saying that at the moment. This part of Vientiane, there's all the restaurants along the bottom there, but there's not many boats doing day cruises, I've noticed, compared to Labrang Prabang. There's not a lot here doing Mekong cruises. Now coming up here to some more apartment hotels. Mekong River Apartment and Hotel there. So we're a fair way out of town here. If you see these online, and I generally book with Agoda, but if you see these online and they look nice, they're right overlooking the Mekong. So if you want to stay there, you're looking right over the top of the Mekong and those balconies, but you're a fair way from town here. For walking, you would be a good 40-50 minute walk to get to the main claws of the restaurants, the bars in the city. So you'd have to be taxiing it or tuk-tuking it from here. But this looks very nice. This hotel, I think I did see that online, but it was a bit far out of town. Yeah, that's the Eastern Hotel, Vientiane. Yeah, that looks very nice online, but it's a fair distance from town. I like to be within walking distance of most facilities. But yeah, right on the Mekong frontage here. Now I thought I'd give you a little bit of information on medical facilities in Laos. The top 5 ranked hospitals in Laos are the Friendship Hospital in Vientiane, the Alliance International Medical Centre in Vientiane, Australian Embassy Clinic in Vientiane, the Centre Medical de l'Ambassadeur de France in Vientiane, and the Laos Asian Hospital, also in Vientiane. So if you're in a remote area, medical cover is inadequate, generally very basic. If you're serious illness or an injury, tourists are told to go to Thailand, evacuate to Thailand hospitals. Evacuation costs can be expensive. There are plenty of pharmacies though in all the cities in Laos. I went to one in Vang Vieng, and you can get antibiotics over the counter in certain areas. Malaria tablets prevention should be taken before coming to Laos. So there's a little bit of information you may need if you're thinking of coming here. Yeah, so comparing Laos to other Southeast Asian countries, depends on what you're looking for. This is a communist country with a very, very conservative social way of life. There's no girly bars here. The massage shops are genuine massage shops. We don't know what happens at night, but on the frontage side of it, it all looks very, very calm and totally different to like Thailand, for instance. So if you're looking for that type of thing, then Laos is not your destination. I've seen a mixture of backpackers, a lot of backpackers, younger people, in their 20s. They love Laos for the trekking, the mountainous. They go on 2 or 3 day hikes through the mountains. I've seen older generations around my age group here, but not a lot. That's not the core age group for tourists here. I haven't seen a lot of Europeans, especially here in Vientiane. A lot of Chinese, Koreans. They seem to come here because it's easy for them to get here, and it's obviously a cheap destination. Very few Australians. Yeah. Me being Australian, I could probably count the number of Australians I've met on one hand. In all the hotels and buses and trains, and so she's an unknown destination for most Australians. Very few Americans. I can't remember talking or hearing an American with the American accent. I cannot remember meeting one. So yeah, so Laos has it's trailing the other countries by a fair distance at the moment as far as tourism goes. So it's got a lot of learning to do. It's got a lot of infrastructure to improve before it can really compete. And that'll depend on the government. But as I said earlier, there's a lot of tax evasion and black market money here, which is not going to help the government to improve things. Just walked across the other side of the road here, and it looks like a new hotel or restaurant is going to be built here right on the front step of the Mekong River. So there is development going on. But the thing that amazes me about Laos, during the day there doesn't appear to be anybody working. You walk around everywhere and it doesn't appear that people are working. I think they come out later in the afternoon and start working. Especially on construction, because it's so bloody hot and humid here that working on a construction site in the middle of the heat of the day, I think the Lao people just... I did run into a Canadian guy in Luang Prabang who said that the Laos just don't get things done. You know what I mean? They're so laid back that things just don't get done. And he lives here, so I'm starting to see a bit of why he thinks that. But see, there's another construction site there, but nobody's working. You'll walk around all day and you'll see that. So there's certainly no rush here. There's no rush for anything to be done. Yeah, so if you're coming to Laos, I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into what you might be looking for. If you've been to Laos, send me a comment, because I'd be interested to see if you're a Western person, you've got the same thoughts that I have. If you agree with me, fine. If you don't, let me know, because you know, this is a developing country, so obviously more people will be coming here. So this brings my little trip to Laos to an end. If you've watched all the way through on this video, thanks very much, I appreciate that. we're coming up to where those policemen were earlier. I've walked my little walk up and down the Mekong River here. If you're interested in Laos, go to my playlist. I've got lots of different videos on different cities. I go pretty well into great depth on where I went to. So thank you for watching all the way through. And as I said, if you've enjoyed some of the videos, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. So thank you for watching, and bye for now. So there it is. I'm getting hot now. She gets steamy, and it's probably only late morning. But around when the sun comes out, the heat of the day, around 2 or 3 o'clock, if there's no clouds, it's very hot.